Hello people, my name is Rage, and welcome one and all to Hearthstone, the Grand Tournament new cards. Yes sirree, we're gonna have a look at them all together for the first time. Yes, I'm also gonna be very much first impression-y. Whoa! I'm so sorry. If you never watched my videos before, and you just got that impression, I am so sorry. I've been legend a few times. I do know I sound like such an idiot. For everyone else, let's do this thing. So what I'm going to do is have a look at the cards, give my first impressions on them, see if they're good, and just generally, let's have some fun and get hype over the awesome stuff that they're doing with the Grand Tournament. So we'll go in rarity order with the neutrals first. Let's start with the neutral commons that have been revealed. We have the Lowly Squire. Now, he is not so lowly, because he is quite a good one-drop. He's one of the cards I knew about already, and he's probably the easiest example of the Inspire mechanic. For those of you that don't know, Inspire triggers when you hero power. You hero power, he gains an attack every single time you do. Easy. And for a one-drop, he's great because he gives slower decks that want to hero power on turn 2, like Paladin, like Shaman, a nice one-drop that will trade with free 2s and continue to be a growing threat that needs removed throughout the game. He's just a very solid, nice little card, and it's a way of adding powerful-ish early drops that don't necessarily help aggro, because aggro wants to be playing cards, not hero powering on turn 2, which you need to do if you play Lowly Squire. So I'm a big fan of that little guy over there. Also, his voice is brilliant. Next up then, this is interesting. Let's have a look. Silver Hand Regent, Inspire, summon a 1/1 Silver Hand Recruit. And a free for free, which is kinda, it's Farseer level, it's okay. So every time you hero power, you get a 3/1/1. So I mean, that's not bad. It adds a fair amount of value to your hero power. The stats, as I said, are kind of okay. This one, to me, is a very middling card. I mean, as paddling, yes, that's a paddling. As Paladin, that's kind of neat, because you get double your bang for your buck every time you press hero power, but I mean, I guess Mage, you use it a bunch of times, you pro-skill Unstable Portal or Quartermaster, get your 3/3s. I don't know, it's weird that this isn't a Paladin card. That's what I'm unsure of. So, it's a very difficult card to assess. Is it worth, you gotta look at it, is it worth 5 mana for a 3/3 and a 1/1? It's really not. So I think I would have to say it's probably kind of a bad card. But maybe in token-based decks, maybe, I feel like it should be a Paladin. I don't know. I'm very kind of by the by on that one. So next up, one that I knew about, Maiden of the Lake. Your hero power costs 1, 2, 6 for 4. It's fine stats. Not going to trade massively. Dies to Shredder equally, and then Shredder leaves the 2-drop behind, so it can't compete with the popular 4-drops. But the hero power costing 1 is kind of nice. But you got to ask the question, do you want to play a 4-drop and a hero power, or a 5-drop? With the power of 5-drops, Sludge Belchers and the like, you're probably going to want to do that. So it may be played in combo decks around your hero power, like some Mage shenanigans we'll talk about later. But I think it's just a general staple card. I don't think it'll quite make the cut. It just can't fight well enough in the time that you're going to be laying this down on the table. In certain classes, maybe, where they've got a more impactful hero power. Like, play that and then ping for 1 mana something away as Mage on turn 5. I can kind of see that. So we'll see with Maiden in the Lake. I don't think it won't be used, but it certainly won't be staple. It'll be a very sort of niche deck type that uses Maiden of the Lake. And then a really cool card for new players. Release the North Sea Kraken. Battlecry, deal 4 damage. It's just a souped up fire elemental. Good stats. I say good stats. It's okay stats. 7 elf is kind of fine. It doesn't get removed very easily by anything that isn't very hard removal. The deal 4 damage is nice. It'll be fantastic in Arena, but in Constructed, it's great for new players with budget decks, but there are just better slots for 9 mana if you own every card in the game. I mean, 4 damage is nice, but it's not crazy as impactful as something like Nefarian's 2 spells. That's from an adventure, though you do have to buy the adventure, so I guess it still is a good example. I like this card because Krakens are great, and it's a good card for newer players with low collections to beef up their decks with some late game power, so I'm a fan of that. No rares have been revealed yet, which is kind of interesting, so let's go on to the epics. We have the Garrison Commander. You can use your hero power twice on your turn, so I mean, it's stuff like this: Maiden of the Lake into Garrison Commander, hero power, and you could kind of do shenanigans, double trigger Inspire, maybe on turn 6, Garrison Commander, hero power, buff your board off, but it's very combo-y win-more-y. I mean, 2-3 is fine for 2, it fights things, so it's not like you're losing out for this ability. So, this one is difficult. If hero power spamming decks are good, Garrison Commander is good. We don't know the rest of the cards in the set, so we can only speculate how good they'll be, but it basically comes down to that. It has the potential to be a staple, it has the potential to basically never see play. It entirely depends how good hero power Inspire decks tend to be. Kodo Rider. Now this dude I love because Kodos are one of my favorite animals in WoW, and initially it's really exciting. Every time I play my hero power I get a free 5? That is beautiful value. However, it's a 6-drop. Are you going to want to play this over Sylvanas? Over Emperor? Over the other over Piloted Sky Golem even? I don't think you are, honestly. It's a very win more card. If you already have board control, you're winning anyway, so you don't need to spam summon free 5s. I think it's a knee-jerk, ridiculous on paper, but when you look at it, I just think it's too damn slow. Unless the meta goes stupid slow, I don't think it'll work. I'm going to try and use it, because as I said, I love Kodos, but I think this is going to be one of those cards that's a lot worse than it looks. Next up, we got Frost Giant, the latest addition to the Armada of Giants, and it's one of the better ones. Being able to play it on sort of turn maybe 6-ish, if you've been hero powering a fair amount as a slow control deck, gives you some oomph in the late mid to just late game, which is lovely. Shaman will probably play these a lot, Paladin again, Priest even might sneak these in. What a lot of people are going, buff Handlock more, but this does nothing for Handlock. The power of Handlock is to play a Mountain Giant 8/8 on turn 4. You can't play a Frost Giant until turn 6, even if you hero power every turn. I think turn 6. Yeah, because you hero power on turn 5, which puts it from 6 to 5, but then you've hero powered, so you have, I think it's turn 6-ish that you can play this, which is too late for Handlock to be effective. Yes, it might count as to some double free 8/8 Molten Giant-like things in the very late game, but does Handlock have 2 spare spaces to put 2 more Giants in? Not especially. That deck is very tightly knit, so I definitely think this is a Giant for other decks to start including over the classic Giant using deck of a Handlock. Still a very, very good card, and a very exciting one at that. Alright, so the 3 legendaries we have seen. We have Nexus Champion Sarad. Every time you use your hero power, you get a random spell. A lot of fun. A very win more card. Not great stats for 5. It dies to things like Lotheb, and hell, it dies to Sludge Belcher to clear it, which isn't brilliant. Not having 5 attack at 5 mana is generally quite the downside. It's not a bad card if you play it late. I mean, you gotta look at it this way. 7 mana, play a 4/5, add a random spell to your hand. Can that be good? I mean, if the random spell is great, brilliant, but it's a little slow and a little bit too win-more. It doesn't do anything to bring you back into the game if you're losing, and that kind of sucks. You want a lot of those cards in your deck. So while I think he's badass, and it obviously is a powerful effect if you can do it a lot, I think he's not gonna be that common. He's certainly not the Thaurissan, the Lotheb, the Dr. Boom of this set. It'll be exciting to find out what is, and it might very well be this next one, a card that's going to see a lot of play initially, irrelevant of how good it is. Just a card, True Heart. Battlecry, replace your starting hero power with a better one. So as soon as you play this, for the rest of your game, your hero power is updated. And as you can see, there are some cool upgrades. And again, is this worth worth it over Sylvanas, over Thaurissan, that kind of deal. Dire Shapeshift for Druids is excellent. This card alone could spawn a sort of savagery, yes, savagery, bite, claw, sort of feral attack with your face Druids. That's kind of neat. Hunters, a little bit get gypped on this one. They probably won't use it. The 3 damage, it's not a massive upgrade. Fire Blast from Mage, however, makes it into a non-drawback type shadow form. That's not bad. The Silver Hand, an extra recruit, yeah, it's fine. The 4 heal from Priest, yeah, it's fine. 2/2 daggers is a lot. That's a good amount of value from that. Rogue will be happy with this one. And then Shaman, being able to choose which totem you summon, and you can summon multiple copies of the same totem. Imagine if you can control spell power in Shaman. This card is gonna rock in Shaman if you're playing a super slow Shaman deck, which I like to do, so I'm very excited for this. Honestly, I think just the card is very slow, too slow for a lot of decks, but the awesomeness of the hero powers, Soul Tap, of course, taking away the negative of the Warlock, isn't that great. I mean, it's just okay, thanks, I guess. As Warrior, though, 4 armor, that's pretty ridiculous. Probably very good for slow control Warrior. This card will almost certainly be played there. But yeah, I'm very excited for it to Shaman, and just generally, it's awesome to have upgraded hero powers. So I'm very, very pleased it just generally is in the game. I think it's going to be a very fun card. And then one of my favourite flavor-wise to be added so far, Sky Captain Krag with Charge! Costs 1 less for each friendly pirate. So, you've got 3 on the field, you got a 4 mana 4/6 charge? Yeah, I'll take that. But we do need a way to spam pirates onto the board for it to be especially good. A sort of summon 3 random pirates type card, then back it up with a Sky Captain Krag, and then you can really swarm the board. But I'm hoping this means there's going to be a lot more pirate support, and you can viably make a pirate deck, because I love pirate decks. I think they're a lot of fun, and I really want them to be viable. Hell, not even viable, just you can actually win games with them, which I know you can now, but practically not. So I love him, giant parrot riding pirate. Alright, so on to Hunter then. They've got 2 cards revealed. Ball of Spiders, 6 mana, summon 3 1/1 web spinners. On the surface, 6 mana for 3 1/1s. So bad. But then you get 3 beasts off them. Even if you get 3 1 mana cost beasts, the card has broken even mana cost and has also generated you 3 extra cards, and that's powerful. If very slow control Hunter becomes a thing, and it might because of the next card we're going to talk about, it might see play. It's just so slow and unimpactful. It's such a long con for the very late game, planning for 7 turns of fatigue type level slowness, that I just don't know. I mean, obviously the dream, you play it, you get free King Crushes off your web spinners, it's neat, gives you a lot of card advantage, but it's just not got the impact that a 6 mana card needs when you would be laying it down. I mean, someone plays Thaurissan, your turn 6, you play Ball of Spiders, they're not going to care. They're really not going to care. Though next up, Lock and Load, and this is ridiculous. This is like, alright, Face Hunter, we can't nerf you. What we're going to do is make Control Hunter so good that you're going to switch. Lock and Load is pretty neat. Every time you cast a spell this turn, add a random Hunter card to your hand. That is insane. And it's got a brilliant visual effect, a sort of scope covers the battlefield. So basically, you're going to play Lock and Load, you're going to tracking, Arcane Shot, Kill Command, Explosive Shot, you're going to spam spells off, and then refill your hand out of nowhere, having decimated the board, Hunter's Mark as well, play a trap down, completely refuel, and then go again next turn, and hell, Lock and Load into Lock and Load, and then you reactivate Lock and Load, and it's just... This card is stupid powerful. It is insane, and there's probably going to be Miracle-y combo Hunter based off it. Like, they will have basically unlimited resources if a good spell spammy turn. So a good draw power combo Miracle Hunter seems like a lot of fun to see. Next up then, Mage, Fallen Hero. Your hero deals 1 extra damage. Just a good solid card. You can play it on turn 2, it's a fine 2-drop, you can save it for later for when you want to ping. And the thing is, With the mage card that lets you use your hero power as many times as you want, coupled with 2 fallen heroes on the board and a Maiden of the Lake, yes, you can use 10 lots of a 2 damage hero power. The dream, the combo is real, it's a little bit of fun. But generally speaking, it's just a solid 2-drop. If you don't need Sorcerer's Apprentice, you'll play Fallen Hero. It has its value. You can use it late, you can use it early. It's nice. And then we have Effigy. When a friendly minion dies, summon a random minion with the same cost. Now, this buffs, obviously, Mad Scientist, which is already the best in Mage, because Mages have the best, most valuable secrets, because obviously the most expensive. And Effigy is good, because it gives you immediate board presence when something dies, as opposed to Duplicate, which is more value, but you then have to wait more time to play the things you've just duplicated. So, if you've got, like, a nice, say, Antonidas on the field, it dies, it summons a War Golem 7/7, that's good for free mana. Hell, even if your free drop dies and turns into a different free drop, it's still you've broke even on having the card in your deck, and it's a spell for spell synergies to boot. I think it'll be a heavily played secret. It's not bad, and I think for the most part, it's better than putting any other given free mana drop in your deck, even for just the random fun of it. Then Caldara Drake. This one I did see before. It's obviously let you use your hero power a number of times, and it promises more dragon support in the expansion, which is good. Very, very good. It's a solid 6/6 for 6, a little bit worse than Ogre, but fine, and it'll probably enable some cool combo-y stuff, make Blackwing and other dragon synergies better just because there's more dragons to hold. Dragon Mage might become a real cool thing. Dragon Inspire Mage. I kind of like that as a thing. Then the Priest card. This one is interesting. Sacred Warrior. Whenever a character is healed, gain to attack. It's like a Light Warden's big sister, I guess, because it's got the health to survive on the board for enough turns to sort of Pyro, Circle of Healing, Pyro, Circle of Healing, heal a few more, and then buff this up to 20 attack and smack. It's kind of like Frothing Berserker, but for Priest and healing. I think this will be a very staple solid 4-drop, which Priests don't really have, because you don't just want to throw Arcani out, because you need it for the effect. So I think this might just become a nice staple in Priest decks, even if it's not a combo piece. It's just an alright card that has definitely the capacity to trade well above its mana cost. I like it. It's just very solid. Then we have Poisoned Blade for the rogues. Your hero power gives this weapon +1 attack instead of replacing it. It's okay. I feel like it needs more durability for 4 mana. Basically, what this card does is enable rogues to try Inspire decks, because obviously rogues get the short end because their hero power replaces their weapon and removes things like poison and Tinker Royal and stuff, so they can't really use Inspire as well as other classes. So this is basically, once you've got this on, as long as it doesn't get destroyed, don't use it, you can spam Inspire, you're going to be okay. It's not that powerful, it's a tool for rogues to use. Alright, Shaman, my main and favourite class. Totem Golem! 3/4 for 2, Overload 1. A spider tank 1 turn earlier that looks hella cooler. Amazing. Best 2-drop in the game. Fantastic. Will kill everything. You're dead. Totem Golem. Brilliant. What Shaman needed. Fantastic. Tuskar Totemic. Summon any random totem. 3 mana for a free 2 that brings with it a Totem Golem, Manatide, Flame Tongue, or Vitality? Yes, please. This card is insane. Yes, it can give you normal Shaman hero power totems, but even at worst, it's a Razorfen Hunter that brings you a 1/1 Flame Tongue totem. It's ridiculous value, and I will 100% confidently say there will be 2 of these in every single Shaman deck. It is so powerful, and it's broken. It is broken, but Shaman needs a broken card because Shaman is terrible right now. Draenei Totem Carver. Gain +1/+1 for each friendly totem. It's just a sort of Frostwolf Warlord for totems. It's okay. I mean, on average, it'll probably be a 6/6 for 4, which is great value, but then we have the Fireguard Destroyer, which is probably better than that. Well, about the same as that, in fact, and that's guaranteed. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have the overload. It's just kind of... It's alright. And then Thunderbluff Valiant is pretty good, though. We have a free 6 for 5, which is okay. And basically, every time you press your hero power, your totems get a permanent Savage Roar. That's not bad. I mean, do you want to play this over Sludge Belcher? I think so. I kind of like it. And again, Tauren and Kodos, that's my favorite. That's where I'm at. I think this card can go either way. I'm biased towards it because I want it to be good so bad. So we'll see. It's potentially very slow if you look at it as a 7-mana card, but I don't know. We'll see. I just hope it is good. And then the Warlock Legendary, the first class legendary to be revealed, Wilfred Fizzlebang, Master Summoner, the gnome responsible for Lord Jaraxxus being a entity on Azeroth, and indeed a card. When you draw from your hero power, it costs 0. That's not bad. 0 mana Lord Jaraxxus, 0 mana Mal'Ganis, 0 mana Molten Giant, am I right? That's pretty good value. Granted, it's 6 mana for a 4/4, which is terrible. It's also very slow. You'd be playing it on turn 8, and dropping a 4/4 on turn 8 isn't great, but you do get a free card to follow it up with, so it might be good depending on what you draw. I think it's not necessarily ridiculously good. It is, however, ridiculously fun and a very interesting card, and I'm happy that it exists, and a lot of people will have a lot of fun experimenting with it. I mean, if you've got the thing that lets you use your hero power twice, you can get a lot of value out of this bad boy, and for slow control games, which I'm hoping this expansion is pushing, it might very well see play. And then finally, Warriors' new 3-mana weapon to fill that slot for them. They, obviously, Ogre War Maul, but nobody likes Ogre War Maul. King's Defender, a crafted weapon from WoW, a 3/2, so it's a Fiery War Axe for 1 more mana. However, for every taunt creature you have, gain a durability. So turn 1, turn 2, you whack down taunts, you then get a free 4 weapon, which is fairly good in a vacuum. However, you play Fiery War Axe on turn 2, you get value out of that, you hit twice, then on turn 4 you play Death's Bite, get value out of that. When do you sneak King's Defender in? It's a little bit of a difficult to place card, so while it's objectively good, I don't think it'll see that much play, which kinda sucks. So there you go, guys. That's all the cards that have been revealed so far. Some very cool looking stuff. I'll bring you updates when roughly every sort of 10-15 cards has been released leading up to the expansion. I like to get the hype going. Let me know what you think of these cards. If you agree with me, disagree, your thoughts, all of that jazz. Let's get an awesome discussion going. My name's been Rage. Remember to like if you've enjoyed this and subscribe for more. Oh, goodbye.